Perfect.
Well, everyone, welcome back to a very exciting episode of the Storybox podcast. Today, my friends, I'm delighted to welcome Cristy, or she goes by a real name, Christina Kistner, sorry.
Kistner. Yeah.
Kistner. There we go. Sorry about that. My eyes. Anyway, Christina Kistner. What I'm going to do is I've been recently starting to do this, and I think it's a lot better. So instead of me actually promoting you as a person, I thought it would be great, instead of me doing it, for you to actually introduce yourself. So who are you? What do you do? And all the things in between. So Cristy, can you please take it away?
Yeah, well, I am just a mom. I wrote a cookbook, but I am not a chef. I'm not a nutritionist. I am just a mom who has so many health problems with my years. I have 5 girls between 18 and 8 years old. And life put me in this place and made my mission through food, because I never imagined that I would be in this place, beautiful city today. And that food is my life, my mission. As we were talking, I want to share my journey in the kitchen, my journey in life, just to help anyone that is in the same place as I was. And I am still learning. And I want to share that things about my life, about my food, about my recipes, because I have the hope that my journey, my recipes can help someone else.
Well, Cristy, welcome so much to the Storybox podcast today.
Thank you so much. It's a huge honor to be here.
The honor is all mine, honestly. Now, I do want to point out to people that Cristy sent me an email this morning. She was really flexible, by the way, so I appreciate her being incredibly flexible. There was an issue on my part with daylight savings and everything like that. I won't go into it. Everyone knows the daylight savings can be an absolute pain in the neck at the best of times, but she was flexible enough to rearrange times and everything. But she also said to me this morning in an email, which just boosted my ego, and I want to tell my audience about it, just how kind she actually is. So Cristy bought a copy of my book for herself and her daughter because she loves my message and she loves the mission. And that's not to boost anything about me. That is to point the spotlight on Cristy and to say, you are pretty much the first guest I've had on the show that has decided to buy my book well before I've had them on the show and say that they love my message and read my book. So I just want to say thank you on this episode. What a kind person you actually are. So I really, really admire that about you. So thank you.
Oh, no, thank you. Because I was reading in Amazon, and I totally agree with you. We all have a story, and a story that can heal other people. And we are here to do our best and to change into a new and better person. So that's everything about life. Is we have a mission, we have lessons to learn, and we have to follow it, right? I read a little bit about all your work, and it's about that. It's about the truth. It's about our truth and how we can change life, right? Because you have a mission, I have another mission. And for example, when we were, I appeared, I don't know if the audience know, but my story was posted by Humans of New York. And in the beginning, I didn't want to be there because I didn't want to expose my life and my heart to the public, because, you know, you need some privacy. Something that Brandon told me that made me change my mind was that, well, he was through some health problem, and I helped him. And he told me, you give me hope. So if we tell your story, you can give hope to other people. And in that moment, I said, yeah, that's a mission. So it's not about me. It's not about, I don't want to expose my heart, expose my family, my life. It's about health. And I received so many miracles and blessings in my life that I say, okay, I have to give back, right? I have to be thankful and share. And the word hope was all the time during the period we were writing the story. And in the moment that he posted the story, we were together in the bakery, and suddenly my husband bring me the phone and he told me, okay, someone is calling you. And I said, I don't know anyone in this country, so who is calling me? And I don't know. I took the phone and this woman told me, okay, I am calling you from Maryland, and I just want to take my car and drive to your restaurant and hug you because I want to say thank you because I have a son that has a disease, and now you are giving me hope. And for me, in that moment, I think, okay, all the problems that we have in our life, the bankruptcy, the disease of my daughters, all the things that we went through, in that moment disappears. And I say, okay, it worked all the effort, all the pain, all the suffering, because I am giving hope to this family, to this mom. And I was crying, and Brandon look at me and I said, okay, we did it. That one call was my gift, my life changing. And I say, okay, yeah, that is all about, right? That's why God sent us all these missions, all these lessons. And sometimes when you follow, you receive the biggest gift in the world.
Mm. It certainly has changed your life in an amazing way. I mean, all people need to do is have a look at your Instagram profile to see all the work that you do and all the amazing recipes that you have created, and you've turned it into a book, right? So I didn't mention in the intro that you've got Cristy's Kitchen, which is based on your actual work. When anyone creates a book, it is a labor of love, right? There's a lot that goes into creating a book. But before we talk about your book, I wanted to mention the fact that you also brought up something that was very important, the level of humility that you carry along with you, because you mentioned that you didn't really want to be famous, you didn't want to be well known, but you are now. And it's I guess it would have been very unexpected for you to carry all this eyeballs on you at the moment, and trying to figure out, how do I navigate this space properly? Because I was once private, now I'm not so private. How do you navigate the world now of not being as private as you once were?
Well, I think for me the best gift is the restaurant, the bakery. When I go to the restaurant and I can talk with every customer, I can hug my customers, I can cry with my customers. It's like, well, for sure, I am not feeling famous, but I feel so grateful every time that I go and the people say, "Oh, there's Cristy," and they come and we talk and share tips, recipes, and they ask me things and I can help. So that's filled my heart in a way that is huge. And for example, we have a signing party last Saturday in the restaurant. We have a lot of people coming and signing, and I was a line. I was signing the books. And for sure, I wanted to talk with every person that come asking, what was the reason to find out my cookbook, or if there were customers, no. And suddenly a woman told me, "Oh, I really appreciate that you take the time to talk with every person." And I said, "But is there other way to do it? Because these people is coming to buy my book, that I signed the book. So for me, it's a pleasure. For me, it's an honor. So I enjoy it so much. And yeah, for sure, we don't have so much privacy because all the people there know my daughters, and they were all over around bringing some food to the people. Another, my daughter cooking, the other with the trays outside. So, but it feels most as a community, as family. So, well, probably the difficult part is social media, because for me it's a little bit difficult to make recipes and videos and talk with the phone. Really, I prefer the in-person contact, right? To talk with someone, to cook with someone that made all the things in social media, but is a necessity to help also people, because I have to share the recipes, I have to share about the ingredients, I have to share what I am doing in the kitchen. So it's also a challenge for me, and a challenge to do in English, because I need to learn more. But I take the challenge with a smile. So
you're originally from Peru, is that right?
Yeah.
So you grew up in Peru?
Yeah, well, we arrived here October 2019. So we are just 3 years here.
3 years. And you've been working on, you got pretty good English, I've got to say, for 3 years.
Oh, thank you.
were you learning English or learning about, like, how was the whole process like for you going from Peru all the way over to the US?
Oh, well, I always wanted to be here, you know. That was one of my dreams. And I was always telling my husband, since we got married, we have to move, because I really wanted to live in a place like this, with the forest, in the middle of the nature, not in a city, because Lima is the capital, it's a big city. And always I wanted to be a mom and raise my kids. And I want this kind of peaceful life. And he was very, very patriotic, and he told me, "No, I born here, I have to die here." So when everything started to going bad, we start to think, okay, maybe we are going to the bankruptcy, and we start to think, okay, we need some plan B. And the only thing that I could do was to cook, because I didn't went to the college. I don't have a career. I am like just a mom. So I realized, okay, maybe with all the thing that we have learned in the kitchen, we can open some kind of business. And at that moment, I was dealing with my second daughter's symptoms. She was having a gluten intolerance, and I have to change all my health recipes into gluten-free, and was very difficult because at that time we didn't have any kind of books or information, or even culinary schools that teach how to bake gluten-free. So it was just proof and error. And well, at that moment, the stress was super high. We lost everything. And my husband had a heart attack. And in that moment, he told me, okay, I am dying because my business, I will leave you alone with the 5-year juice because my business. So I have to let it go. And if I do that, we will lose everything, the house, everything. And we finished our last days in Peru, sleeping on the floor, just in the mattress without anything, because we should to all the cars and the furniture, everything, because we didn't have money. The girls were 2 years in homeschooling because in Peru it's impossible to go to a public school, so we didn't have money to pay the private school. And when we had this small business, this small gluten-free cafe there that wasn't giving us any kind of salary because it was very new, all this gluten-free stuff in Peru. We realized, he told me after the heart attack, okay, we have to move. We have to leave all this thing and start all over. And for sure, for so many people, we were crazy. Okay, you are crazy. With 5 kids, you are trying to start in a new country. You are crazy. And yeah, we were crazy. But we didn't have another choice. So we went here probably a couple of years ago before to make this decision because one of my daughter's health problem used to look for a second opinion. And I told my husband, okay, maybe we can look around all these gluten-free bakeries. And we went to a small cafe bakery that I got in love. This beautiful was like a home. You can enter and feel this beautiful white house with all the amazing decoration, farmhouse style. It was just beautiful. For sure, the cupcakes and all the food was not perfect. And we decided to come back to Peru at that moment. And the visa that we opened there, this small cafe, we made it with the same style, the same decoration as I love here. And after the heart attack, after 2 months, we were thinking, okay, we have to move. Which is the best way to move to America? Because my husband said, okay, I want to go only to this place because my brother lived here. And I said, okay, I don't care. I love Roswell, so we have to move. And then my brother-in-law called him and said, okay, do you remember the place that Cristy loved? Yeah, it's for sale. So for me, that was a huge sign. Okay, the only place that I love it is for sale in the perfect moment. I said, okay, we have to take this business. And for sure, we didn't have money. So we started to call friends and family, and they give us all the money to pay the business and the tickets. So there was flight to here. He bought all the business because the way to obtain the investor visa is you have to have first the business and then you ask for the visa. So if you didn't get the visa, you lose all the money. But we thought, no, we will get this. And Sebastian, he bought the business. He made all the paperwork. He come back and we asked for the visa. And we wait like a year because we have to finish all the bankruptcy paperwork, all the visa paperwork. But that year was for us, the 2 years that we were in that situation was like our own quarantine. And you can imagine that if you have your husband 24 hours and 7 days per week in your house, you want to kill him, right? Then was amazing for our marriage because we start to learn more from each other. We start to talk more. It was very, very nice for our relationship because in the beginning we wanted to kill each other, and it's like a huge process. So that's why I think that more than the life that is changing outside is how much we change on the inside in all this process. When all the paperwork were done and we were ready to come here was like a huge gift for us and for the girls, because the girl was praying every single night for this moving to have a house, to have the opportunity to go to the school. When we came here, we arrived October 2019. We came just with $10,000, our suitcases and my blender, because my blender is very important. We paid all the thing, all the paperwork. We rent a house, and we got so many miracles at that time. You can imagine how much miracles we have, because we arrived and we have here my brother-in-law and a friend that is a godfather of one of my daughters. But one of his friends, who never met us, he gave us a car, because he said, okay, you cannot be in a city like this without a car. It's not like Lima. You have to have a car. And he just gave me the car keys. And when you have money, you can pay me back. Now, take the car. And I was crying and say, I don't know. I don't have words to say thank you. And he told me, no, it's just God. It's not me. It's God acting through me. And I say, oh my God, all my life is just miracles. And we have the 10,000 out in all this paperwork and the house rent, and we just have $200 in our pockets. And I was crying and crying. I said, oh my God, why everything is like this? And my husband told me, okay, we are here. That's the most important thing. We have been through so many things that finally we're here. So we have $200. We have to buy some ingredients, and we have to open the doors. And we opened the doors of the bakery in December 2019. And we were just buying ingredients, baking, and selling a few customers. But we were so grateful to be here that we waited so much that never else was important. We say, okay, we are here. We have to enjoy this. We have to enjoy that we are in this pain, in this suffering, in this nightmare. We don't care, because we are seeing these beautiful trees and we are together. And then the pandemic came. So we thought, okay, we have been so many things that this pandemic can kill us. So we have to keep working, and we did. And then we have the miracle of Brandon, and that was another sign, because the first time that he helped us, I was crying and crying. I was with my very, very word, but English, saying, okay, I don't know how to say thank you. And he told me the same. It's not me. It's just God acting through me. And that was like a huge slap. Oh my God. Yeah, this is huge. And that's why I say in the cookbook, it's not just food. It's not just the recipes. Is how many things you can heal through food. Because I was talking the other day with a person that was complaining about a disease, and I say, okay, don't look the disease as a sentence. Is a disease. Every disease is an opportunity. It's an opportunity to learn, to heal, and to change. So that is what food means to me. Is changing, is learning. That's why I don't believe that it's just one right diet for everyone. It's like you have to, first of all, you have to trust in nature, because nature is wise. You are part of the nature, so you have to start listening and learning about your own body. Yeah. And then you have to say, okay, I can eat this, I cannot have this, and I have to eat with these thoughts and without these other ones, because we are a whole being, not just food or thoughts. No, we are what we eat, what we feel, what we think. We are a whole being. That's why for me it's so important that people try to learn how to follow their own path, to listen their own voice inside. Okay, this is good for me. This is not good for me. I have the disease because I have to change this, because I have to, I don't know, give the other things, because, part of the change of every person is start to learn how to receive and how to give, right? Because when we were in the worst part of our life, you know how is the ego, and you are very proud, and when you receive, your ego is totally in shock. Right? Oh my God, I feel so bad because I don't have and I have to receive, and you feel ashamed to receive, right? And we learn that. We learn that we can receive and be so grateful, and that's humility, and it's very painful to learn, right?
Yeah.
Because when we arrived, our customers were giving us clothes for the years because we didn't have, or gift presents for Christmas, and you as a parent feels like, oh my God, it's very. I feel ashamed because I cannot give my family what they need, right? And it's a huge feeling.
It's as if like when we are given things by other people, it's as if we're being sort of like, we're not used to it. We're being desensitized to this act of kindness that people do because it slaps you in the face and you're like, well, I'm not used to people being this kind to me that often. Now I feel obligated to actually give these people something back. But the point of a gift is that you don't need to give anything back, and you shouldn't need to feel like you need to give anything back. All you need to do in that moment is say thank you, because thank you can be enough for a lot of people. There's obviously a reason as to why that person has decided to give you the gift in the first place, or even just be kind to you. I mean, that is part and parcel of humanity. But I feel like as society has gone on, a lot of people have lost that ability to be kind. And maybe that's through modern society, social media. There's a lot of negativity through that. But I think your story is a powerful one because it does show how powerful miracles are and how powerful kindness is all the same. And it goes to show you that kindness is not lost in today's day and age. It still exists.
Yeah, I was induced in all the beginning of our journey to complain, right? Because when nightmares happen to you, you always complain. Why me? Oh God, why me? Why us? Right? Or if you have some nightmare, then came another bad thing and another, and you start to complain and complain. And we were so tired to complain because it was like, oh my God, bad thing after another bad thing after another bad thing. And in one moment with my husband, we realized, okay, we are so tired. We are so tired, and we have used to accept everything and say, okay, we are living all of this because of a reason. We have to learn something. So we have to stop complaining about everything. And we have to be grateful for every single bad thing that we are receiving. And I think the moment that the things start to change for us was the moment that we start to be grateful about bad things. It's like suddenly you are open your eyes and you are seeing, oh my God, all the journey have all this pathway, and we didn't see in that moment because it's like you are in the very deep hole and you cannot see anything, and you don't want just to look up and say, okay, they are the pathway we have to follow. And for sure we are complaining, oh, why we had that or the other. And okay, without that, we couldn't make the other step. It's like, it's a step after a step and after a step. And we need all these bad or good steps to be here now or to convert into another person. So I the other day I was talking with a journalist, and she told me, "Oh no, I cannot put this cookbook, for example, in Peru because it's not the recipes are not in Spanish. It's a cookbook in English." And I say, I don't think that I want to promote use the recipes. I told her I want to share the story because it's a story of miracles, of hope, because I know that so many people that is now in that deep hole, and they say, no, it's no hope, it's no hope. And if you read another story similar than the story that you are living now, you can find some hope. You can open the eyes and say, okay, I need this nightmare to wake up, to make a change, to feel better. So it's like you say, the stories is a community. You are making a community of people that are sharing her stories, her heart, helping each other. So that is all about this book. Okay, it's the recipes, it's the food. You can cook delicious with all this kind of diets, choosing great ingredients. But also is if I can heal my daughters, if I can give my family the best way to eat, the best ingredients, if I found all this knowledge without having a degree in anything, you can do it and you can do it better.
Oh, absolutely. I second that. And I love how you mentioned being grateful for the bad times. I think that is the perspective shift that a lot of people need to understand just how important having that understanding of the bad times really is. Because it's not our job to ask, why is this happening to me? It's more our responsibility to ask, what can I learn from this negative experience or this challenging time? Because there are people out there that do go through a lot of crazy stuff. And I am always grateful for those people's stories because it inspires me. And then it makes me think, well, if that person has gone through that and look at the way they have transformed their life in an amazing way, like you have, Cristy, you've come from nothing and you've made something from yourself. That is inspiring. And yes, you've had a lot of miracles along the way. And it sounds like you are a person of faith. And I wanted to ask you about that too. How has faith played a role in what you do?
Well, my husband is very, very, very Catholic. I don't know really. I believe. Well, I can tell you that I have proved that God exists. That God exists inside us, around us, is everywhere, and is always guiding us and leaving these little stones to follow.
Yeah.
I believe that all the religions has the same message, has the same lessons, to the same, because they are teaching you how to be a better person. I am a huge fan of meditation, really. It was my way to pray, my way to find peace, to start to connect with God. And my girls for sure are Catholic, but I think we all have the life and the lesson that we need, and we choose that before to come here with God. That's the thing that I really believe. It's like diets. It's not a perfect diet, a right diet for everyone. We all have different bodies. We react different to food, and we all have different beliefs. But at the end, it's all the same. It's just one God.
Everyone's got to go on their own journey and find, I guess, their own understanding in the end.
Exactly.
But I had to figure it out for myself. I mean, I grew up in a very conservative Christian household, so there was that basis of understanding, which was fantastic. But when you get older and you go through certain life experiences, then you're like, well, you begin to question. And I think questioning is a wonderful thing, learning more about curiosity. And I had to go on my own journey and figure things out for myself. And I came across what I believe to be true. And it works for my life. And I'm grateful for it. I really am. And as a result, it informs a lot of the things that I do and what I say in today. And it informs also how I show up in the world, how I show up with individuals, like character traits, value systems, everything. It all informs it. And I love how you also mentioned there's no one diet that fits everybody. It's like growing up, you know, they'd always told us, you know, you have the food pyramid. Everyone needs to follow the food pyramid because that is apparently going to work for you. Follow your fruits, your vegetables, your dairy, everything like that. But I realized very much like you did, and so did my mum as well, that we've got a lot of health issues and you can't eat the same foods as everybody else does. You got to improvise and find different foods that work for your gut and your system. So that's what we had to do as well. It was a lot of fun. Yeah. Let me just say that. It was a lot of fun trying to find gluten-free, healthy alternatives, something that didn't have a ton of chemicals in it. So honestly, like I'm very grateful for this cookbook because it speaks to myself and my mum as well. And there's a bunch of recipes in here that I could point out to a lot of people, like the leek bacon. It was almost like a pie, wasn't it? It's like a quiche pie.
It's a quiche. Yeah, it's like a quiche.
I love anything with leek in it. I told you that before, so I want my audience to know. And there's quite a few things in here that have leek in it. Is that right?
Oh, yes. Yeah. It is this, and I think I don't know if I put the bone broth, but yeah, I love leek. And you can see that, well, most of the cookbook is paleo, have 55% of vegan recipes, some recipes with quinoa because we are Peruvians and we eat a lot of quinoa. We have a lot of AIP recipes because my daughters follow the AIP diet. So it's, I think it's a good mix of all the alternatives. So, and I always encourage the people, okay, you can take my recipe, but make your own recipe with that, change some ingredient, add more, take a little bit of this or that, and make your own recipe because that's about the kitchen. It's just playing and enjoying, playing to be an alchemist in it, right?
And that I do that too. Like whenever I see someone like create a recipe, I'm like, well, I'm not great at following instructions. I tend to veer off.
Me neither. Me neither.
Creative. You have this ingredient which I want to point out to people, just in case they're not aware of the benefits of it. Is it called yuca? Is it yucca? Yucca, and it's like
yucca or yacon.
Yeah, yucca.
Because I have yucca. Yeah, the yucca is the cassava, the cassava root.
I love cassava.
Yeah, I love cassava too. We have, well, I use the cassava root as a fresh. The cassava starch is called tapioca.
Yep.
So it's different names. And the cassava flour. I love cassava flour. And also we have that ingredient that is yacon. It's a Peruvian root that is amazing for diabetic people. It has so many health benefits. I used to receive a message from a follower, a nice person that sent me which is the difference between the yacon root and the honey with the blood spikes.
The insulin,
Yeah, almost nothing. So there is so many amazing ingredients that you can find everywhere, because I think Peruvian ingredients are in the whole world, by Amazon, in any store, and people have it on hand and they don't know how to use it or the benefits. So I want to share that. Okay, you have this ingredient, it's all the benefits, and you can use in this and this way. So our new ingredients sometimes sounds like a weird ingredients, but are amazing. The aloe leaf, for example. The first time that I posted a video chopping and peeling the aloe leaf, people said, okay, where do you find that? And I said, everywhere. Everywhere. It's in every Walmart, in Latin markets, in every place. I say, oh, I never realized that. Yeah, because people don't, it's not in use to try new flavors, new textures. And sometimes you are losing a great recipe.
Yeah, you've got obviously part of the staple Peruvian diet is potatoes. We love our potatoes. There's so many things that you can do with potatoes. I mean, just one ingredient, one food group, you can turn into so many incredible things. It's absolutely incredible. It's so diverse. Same with eggs. I think eggs is like one of the most diverse food groups.
We love eggs. Yeah.
You need, like, with a lot of things, to make a lot of things, you need eggs, surprisingly. I mean, these days. But you've also got moringa. We take moringa powder in the morning.
Yeah.
It helps, obviously, with the hormone levels. Mum said to me, and this is what got me interested in taking it. She's like, Jay, it helps with your hormonal sex drive. And I'm like, cool, I'll take it. I decided to.
You know, I my oldest daughter, in one moment, she has very, very low iron in blood.
I've got that too.
The hemoglobin. Yeah, the hemoglobin. And the pediatrician was very, very upset with me. You have to give her more meat or whatever. We have to get high that level. And I was reading and I said, okay, moringa powder. So we had the first blood test of her that are very low. And then I started with the moringa powder every single day in her smoothies. And we made it again, the lab test, and was high. And I say, oh my God, yeah, this is crazy, because I have the scientific proof that the moringa powder can high up your vitamin levels and your iron levels. So was a huge discovery for us.
I've got the same thing as your daughter with low iron levels, which is surprising to me considering I eat quite a bit of meat, probably not as much red meat as I should, but I've just got a bunch of health issues that I'm going through at the moment. And it's interesting because I have to take iron supplementation, so the good stuff, plus moringa powder, because my iron levels are shocking. They're like really, really low. So I recently did, the last blood work that I had done was extremely low, which isn't good.
Yeah.
And then the last blood test that I had done, I'm not sure where the levels are at, but they're testing it at the moment, like quite consistently. But I've been doing everything that I possibly can to get my iron levels up. Like, you always know if you're feeling like really fatigued and your body hurts and aches, like your iron is shocking. I don't know why I said lion there. Maybe that's because my brain's just going a bit loopy at the moment. But anyway, low iron moringa powder works incredibly well. But I also wanted to say I used to date 2 Latinas, and the first one that I dated back in 2018, 2019, her mum used to make these cassava cheese ball things. Oh, they were just heaven on earth. I kid you not.
Yeah.
They're the best. Do you make those?
Oh, I love cassava. And I don't know if you saw, we have in Peru a very classic dish that is it's like a stuffed potatoes, but I made the same recipe with the yuca root, with the cassava, the fresh root, and was with a ground beef filling that is delicious. And yeah, probably it with the same with the cheese, but it's a huge bowl with all this filling. Yeah, I love the yuca, the cassava root, and also we have in Peru another that I love, and is not popular around the world, and is the ocas. The ocas are like a sweet, small, and thin yuca look like, but are delicious. So I hope to find it again. But talking about, for example, the diets, we know that it's trendy some kind of diets, right? Used to, for example, the breastfeeding in the past. Yeah. Sometimes doctors say, oh, it's good. Sometimes they say, no, it's not good. Sometimes they say, oh, the science says that it's good. It's better the formula. Sometimes say another things. I always tell people, because people ask me all the time, which is the right way to eat? And I said, real food. Real food is the food that you can find in nature and take it in the most pure way. That's why I choose always organic, because for me it's okay. We are so overwhelmed with all this information, scientific research here, TV shows there, social media there, that you have the answer inside. It's just real food. And you will know if it's good or not for you. For example, when I started the AP diet for my daughter and everything was perfect, we don't have in Peru grass-fed and organic beef. So all the meat that I was buying in that time was from America, but was so expensive. So in that moment, we say, okay, we cannot afford these prices anymore. So we have to come back to the conventional meat. I gave her 1 month the conventional meat and she got sick again. And I realized, okay, it's not just the food, so the kind of food, is the quality of food. It really, really matters. So it's not the same, I don't know, conventional produce than organic produce. And it's not the same when you cook, your mom cook at home with love, with passion, and with great ingredients than the food that you can find in the fast food, right?
Yeah.
So it's so many things, but at the end is just come back to the nature, right?
I think, a lot of people just don't eat highly ultra processed foods, but they go ahead and they do it anyway. So going back to real whole foods, the organic nature and side of things is going to be beneficial for everyone. Like, doesn't matter what kind of organic or whole foods you decide to eat. I mean, you've also got to find which ones work best for you in that whole mix. But then again, you're going to be much better off for it because you're eating organic and whole foods rather than eating these sugary processed rubbish things that just ruin your entire system. So yeah, I love that you are showcasing all of this with all your food groups. You're telling more people about it. I wanted to end this conversation by asking you, Cristy, where do you want people to get this cookbook? Where can people go and buy it, or where do you want them to go and buy it?
Well, I am so grateful because the cookbook is in Amazon, is in supermarkets, I think it's around the world in so many bookstores. I want to post the whole list of the bookstores, but in the HarperCollins website, people can find all the books stored all around the world with the link. And well, I have the signed copies on my website, christyskitchengA.com. And well, for sure, I would love to receive pictures of the people cooking and questions. I love to receive messages. I take a time to answer all of them, but I love this connection with people. So I will be so happy if people can send me messages, questions, whatever they need.
Well, I'll make sure that everyone knows where to get a copy of your book. I'll link everything in the show notes below for people. But Cristy, thank you so much for your story, everything that you have overcome and everything that you are doing today. I am grateful for you, your story, and your work on all these recipes. I know my audience will be too. So thank you so much for joining me today on the Storybox podcast.
Thank you so much. Really, really, Jay, it's a pleasure to be here, an honor. Thank you so much with all my heart.